Okay, Starlene. So my little lapel mic is out of battery right now, so I'm going to just train and video, and I may talk a little bit, but you probably won't be able to hear me very well once I get out to the middle of the arena. So just gonna train him today and see what happens. My hope is to get on him today, but he's still just kind of giving me this vibe, and it's still very early in this process. I mean, I've been working on him a month. Usually it is usually later in 2 to 3 months where horses really chill into the process and get into it. But he's doing really good for being at a month. I've been on his back a number of times now, probably 4 or 5. Nothing terrible's happened. But he still has his moments where he gets spooked or mad or something. And so I'm just not feeling super safe about it yet, but I'm feeling good about his progress. So my hope would be I get on his back today. I'm just gonna go through all the pre-flight checks, do all my groundwork, see where he's at. I've got a colt tied up in the corner of the arena over there, so you might hear him screaming and carrying on, but that's why he's tied up, is to learn some manners and learn some patience. And here we go. course, if it's not obvious, all that crap has to go away before you get on his back, because that's the equivalent of me asking him to do something. He starts saying no. I try pulling on that rein more, and he just flips out and starts spiraling up. So that's all got to go away. So, you know, he seems so good and so calm when we're doing that groundwork, and I was like, man, I'm ready to get on this horse. And then he starts wanting, I think he wanted to go to the gate or something, and I start saying, no, like, be here. Pretty small ask, you know, and then he just spirals it up and up and up and out of control. So anyway, yeah. but the reason I kicked him in the belly there and swatted him with the rein is he did a big cow kick at me. And obviously that's completely unacceptable. So that was a little bit of actual punishment right there. That wasn't so much training. That was, he cow kicked me and I'm gonna get after him so he never does that to a kid or to somebody else. So like 98% of the time, I love what he's doing. I love so much about what he's doing. But about 2% of the time, and it always has to do with the bit and his face. It always has to do with me pulling on his face, whether it's in lateral flexion, going around, or with trying to get him to step back and do that cow turn that I'm working on right there. It always has to do with being soft in his face is when the blow up occurs. But like I say, about 2% of the time, he's, I would absolutely not want to be on his back. 98% of the time, I'm like, yeah, let's get on, this is great. So, that's fine, it's just part of the process, but that's where we're at, is we gotta get it consistent, so. So you can see there, I'm just doing a real simple, just flapping that stirrup. That's all I'm doing. I'm not wanting him to move around. I want him to be able to just stand there and be like, flapping the stirrup, whatever, because really and honestly, if that right there scares him that much, I really should never have been on his back in the first place. And I kind of had that feeling. The last few days, I've been like, I don't think this horse is ready to get on. And I've been pushing my luck because, like I said, 98% of the time he's good. I'm just going to switch to my tennis shoes real quick because I don't think I'm going to be getting on him today. So, but I wanted to talk about it real quick. I just kind of had this feeling that I was pushing him too fast. Starlene, the owner, I know you want him, you want him to have a good foundation. I do too, trust me. I want nothing more than to be just riding him every day, cruising by the end of the time I have him. But I don't want to get hurt, and if I give him back to you with anxiety and stuff left in him because I just cowboyed through it, it doesn't help either of us. So, that should not scare a horse. And, okay, so let's say I flap that stirrup and the horse gets a little, ooh, what's that? I get it. They move their feet a little bit. What's worrisome for me with him, the state he's at, is how long it takes him to get his mind back and what he's doing with his head while he's running around away from that stirrup flapping. If you watch that, he's pulling against my hand in the rein really, really hard. And if I was in the saddle, I don't know if I would have enough pull on that rein, enough give from his face to keep him out of trouble. If we're spinning around like that because, he gets tangled up in some wire or a plastic bag blows up under his feet or a rabbit jumps out from under us or whatever, and we're spinning around like that, I got to be able to have enough control over his face that we don't spin into a cactus bush or off of a cliff or into the fence or something, And I don't think I have that kind of control yet. And so, that's got to get to where even if something scares him a little bit, it's not that horses have to be 100% never spook. It's like this horse that I'm selling to another lady, Silo. We were on a trail ride. She was test riding the horse, and we were out on a trail ride, and one of the other horses in the group had ridden off and then rode back up to us. And so this horse comes riding out through the trees, and I guess Silo didn't realize it was going to be there, and he jumped, and he did a good 180-degree spin, and Laura did an amazing job riding it. But the point is, he spun, he got that initial spook, and then he said, oh, it's no big deal. It's just a horse riding through the woods. And he shut it down. He didn't bolt, he didn't buck, he didn't run back to the trailer, any of that stuff. And that's really what I want out of my horses. I can't, if somebody startles me as a human, I'm going to jump. I can't expect these horses never to jump at something. But what I can expect of them is to come back to a reasonable mindset very quickly and safely, and at least be soft in his face and, playing the game while he is still scared of it. So we're going to keep working on that. Probably won't be able to hear me out there, so I won't talk anymore. So anyway, here we go. And you can see when he did finally find that stop, he had a big licking chin. He's like, oh, is that all I have to do? And so I guess this is a hole that I missed. I guess I hadn't flapped stirrups like this. You know, I've done the tarp, different things. And I guess he's just had kind of a different evolution in his mindset. But I think this is going to be a big key right here is this stirrup flapping thing just happens to be something that scares him. Doesn't matter what it is that's scaring him. I need to get through these different things that might make him blow up and get scared and help him learn. The quicker I find that stop and just chill, the easier life's going to be. Boy. Much better. He got scared, but he chose to stay. Now that's only the first kind of step in the process because he's got to eventually choose to relax too. But choosing to stay here is a very great first step. So he figured out what the game was. That shows he's thinking, he's learning. Excellent. Now, don't let it be lost on you that he's standing still over here by the gate where he wants to be. When we were out in the middle, he started running around and dragged me over here. So I'm not going to do anything about that at the moment, but because I don't want to try to train two things at once, but realize that that's happening. So I'm going to go ahead and take him back to the middle where he doesn't want to be. Okay, right there at the end, I call that like the best he's ever been at using his body. You saw him going around there pretty collected. He was given to the rein. Every time it barely touched that bit, he was giving to it without giving up here and pulling his head up away from it. He's just giving to it with his neck nice and soft. He is really driving through his body. He wasn't pulling me towards the gate. I was able to pull on both reins over his neck, and he was giving to that bit, which this is like the first time I've ever done that. He's never done that before. I did my hind end, not disengaging, the hind end step back, getting ready for the cow turn, and he really gave to that bit and was actually stepped back with that inside hind foot while his face was soft, which is really, really cool. What else? Finally got good with the stirrup flapping, that thing that had made him spinning and spinning and spinning. Just in doing that 6 or 7 times, he got to the point where I was flapping that and he'd go, what's that? Oh, nothing, right? That's what we got to do. And then, you can see just standing here, he's pretty chill. Of course, as I say that, he sticks his head in the air, but still. Really, really happy with where he ended at. I'm going to go ahead and put him up because there's one thing I've learned in horse training. It's stop while you're ahead. Don't get into the next fight when you've run out of brain power in the horse, just like with a student. End on a win. He'll think on this. We're putting him up at a really good point, so he should come back out tomorrow even better than we finished, or maybe not better than we finished today, certainly better than we started today. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and unsaddle him and put him up. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.